Aren't the lakes here at Daylesford amazing?
Just heavenly, Rich. You know, and it was all brought together by one woman, Alla Wolf-Tusker. She was a visionary. I mean, imagine 30 years ago going, I'm going to buy this patch of land and put a serious restaurant on it and use local produce.
She created a local economy, basically providing all that small-based artisan produce.
Yeah. She is a living legend.
Praise Allah.
Well, Alla, what a superb property you have here. I mean...
Thanks, Karen.
The lake house, seriously, you put regional dining on the map, supporting local producers and providors. I mean,
it's what I wanted. I mean, I had come from France as a young woman, trained in small Michelin-starred restaurants in the countryside, and what they had is what I wanted. I wanted the little fromagier down the road and the guy producing pheasant. So we bought this very inexpensive piece of land surrounded by big agricultural concerns and no small artisan produce at all.
So you found that they slowly came? Were you encouraging?
Well, you have to create a market. You have to create a market and you have to create a demand. So it's 31 years now, and we can now lay claim to an amazing network of suppliers and small-scale artisan producers all around us. But it also coincided with a change in thinking, where provenance of food has become important, and that has supported the development of these small-scale enterprises as well.
Yeah, and it's really funny you should say that, because I'm going to make the Hunza pie.
Right.
Yes.
Delicious.
It's my nod to the people who actually first became interested in food, what went into their bodies. I hope you like it.
I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will. Thank you so much for having us here, Alla.
Pleasure. Pleasure, Karen.
Well, no one quite does it like Alla Wolf-Tusker. I'm actually in awe of meeting her. It's been fabulous.
And also the idea around Daylesford is that people have made that change, moving away from the city, wanting to get to a more natural-based lifestyle.
Which I believe you're cooking something for us today.
Well, it's also a little bit round. There is a group of people called the Hunza cuts in Pakistan, so this legend goes. And they had ideas about eating based around frugality and longevity. So this is called the Hunza pie, which is sort of it's a homage to the people that have led to where we are today. It's, you know, they've investigated.
Never made a Hunza pie before, but I have heard of it, so I'm really intrigued.
All right.
Well, starting with, I believe, some kofta.
Yeah.
Some gluten-free flour, around 125 grams. And then also some chia seeds. So around a quarter of a cup or half
like
that.
Now
Now it's a matter of just actually rubbing the kofta through the flour.
I'm going to grab the chickpeas.
Yes, half a can of chickpeas.
About half a can. And I'm just going to smash them, Karen.
Smash them up, are they going in here too?
Yep.
I think it also adds flavour to the pastry as well, the chickpea, that earthiness that we're looking for in what I imagine to be a Hunza pie. And what else have we got going in here, Rich?
I'm going to put a little bit of tahini.
OK. I think that's genius. If it's not traditional, that just adds a gorgeous sesame flavour.
Right.
Some lemon juice.
Lemon juice. I'm just going to whack that through my hands.
Again, flavour, and this also helps bind the pastry.
There we are.
And then a good splash of water in there to bring the pastry together. OK, a great way to roll pastry like this, it's a bit crumbly and a bit sticky or not, is to put some paper down and then pop your pastry on top and another piece of paper on top of that. We've got a, what size?
It's about a 9-inch tin.
9-inch tin?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen this before, Rich, but the way I line the tin really easily, measure the paper on top like this, rip it off, open the ring, and then instead of fussing with scissors and all the rest of it...
Which is what I do.
You just basically pop this on top and then pop the ring back on.
OK.
See, rough?
Yep.
And then that, voila. OK, the great thing about this pastry, I think, is going to be that you don't have to rest it. I mean, you're not actually going to achieve anything...
By resting it?
No. And then you can take this off.
Yep.
OK, Rich,
Right.
using all the pastry skills I have.
I have
you know,
very,
just
very little.
lift this up, and you use the paper as support for the pastry. And then pop it into the dish like that. And then pushing that pastry down like that, and then squishing the edges a bit. So, Richard, it's just a matter of baking it straight up.
Blind.
For 10 to 15 minutes in a preheated oven at 180.
There we go, easy.
Well, that's done, I would think.
Let's have a look.
Yeah. Let's work on the filling.
Okay.
So just shredding, say, a quarter of a bunch of silver beet.
Yep.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
You can start the rice.
Yep. So, Rich, I'm guessing you started with around a cup of brown rice, and this is what you get when you cook it off.
All right, that.
Silver beet.
Silver
It's quite
beet.
a bit.
It is quite a bit.
So what else is going
So if
in?
you add our tofu,
Do you notice that it gives me all the messy jobs? Crumbled?
crumble through.
Yeah, see?
Basically, you don't need it. It's sort of silken tofu, so it's very soft.
It is very soft.
And then as we mix it through, 3 egg yolks.
Going in to this.
Yep. There we are.
Messy job coming out for me. So what else is going in, Rich?
So I'm going to add some lactose-free Liddell's cheese.
Okay.
You start mixing. 'cause
I'll start the messy job, shall I?
Do you want to swap? I'm quite happy to.
Well, you get in there. You tell me what else.
All right, cool. We've got some. We're going to just add some. All right, let's get into this. Really work this in. Okay, a little bit of pepper.
Sure.
Okay, I think we're nearly done.
We're done. So what
Yeah.
happens next?
All right, so we're going to put it into our pie.
Pack it quite flat in there.
All right, and I think we just need a little bit of extra cheese on top.
Okay.
And maybe if we can cut some onions to decorate the top.
So, Rich, with the onions here, you're garnishing.
Yes.
The Hunza's getting a makeover.
A little bit of a makeover. So we've got the tahini in the pastry. We're going to put the
Pushing them
onions, just pushing them in like that.
And then balsamic, just
Little bit
over each onion? Or?
Yeah, over each onion, I reckon. So it'll bake in there.
There you go.
Paprika.
Oh.
So just a little bit.
So, Rich, it's ready for the oven.
Okay, so I reckon about 180 degrees for about 25 to 30 minutes, Karen.
Fantastic. Enough time for us to have a bit of a wander around. Check out the lakes of Daylesford.
All right. All right, fantastic. Where are those ducks?
Oh! Your game?
Hey. Look at this.
Come on, how's that pie of
All
yours?
right, let's have a look. There we go.
Looking good.
Ooh.
Wow.
Wow. Well, let's hope that the pie lives up to the myth.
Can't wait to cut a slice.
Okay.
Oh, look at that. Do you want the honours? Come on.
Oh, okay.
Go to the centre.
Go to the centre. There we go.
Wow. It's a deep, delicious-looking pie.
So there you have it, our Hunza pie at Daylesford Lake. A bit of a new twist, a bit of a hello and a nod to the past.
Richard, I think you've given the Hunza pie a whole new look and overhaul, so well done.
Thank you.
Richard, our next dish is a pork and corn kofta with fresh harissa.
Okay.
So we need a capsicum or
Yep.
red pepper
Red pepper.
and 3 of those large chilies
Yep.
and maybe a few cloves of garlic. And we're going to roast them off in the oven after we drizzle them with some extra virgin oil. And then I'm also going to blend it with some Admana tomatoes we're going to throw in there as well, and a hint of spice.
Okay.
So to make the kofta, I'm going to start off just by pouring some oil in a fry pan, throw in 1 onion and 3 cloves of garlic finely grated. I'm just cutting the kernels off the raw corn, I'm going to throw them in with the onions and garlic. Not only does the corn give great flavour with the pork, a little bit of texture as well.
And a little bit of sweetness, I reckon.
Yeah. Let's throw the pork mince, 600 grams into this bowl here, along with a couple of handfuls of gluten-free bread. This is Coles gluten-free bread.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to add 2 eggs as well.
OK, that's going to bind it all.
And Rich, could you do the honours with some pepper and some salt?
Awesome.
We're going to add some spice to the kofta. A little bit of flaked chilli, around a teaspoon in there. So, Rich, this is just starting to go a little golden. In with the corn.
In with the corn.
So let's go for 2 teaspoons of cumin and a half a teaspoon of the smoky paprika. I do find if you're heavy-handed with this stuff, it really tends to overpower.
Okay.
Yeah. Just stirring that through. Rich, a little tip here, always just gently cook out your spices for something like this. It just gives you a more enhanced flavour through the kofta.
OK.
Hey, Rich, while I mix this together, can you grab a tray and maybe just line it with a little bit of paper just so I can shape the kofta before we fry them off? Let's get my hands in there now. I thought I'd do little football shapes.
Go for it. Let's see if she can get the laces on it.
I don't want to make them too big because we're going to be pan frying them. So if you get too large, they don't cook through the middle and they need to go through the oven. So we're going to try and just cook them on the pan today. OK, the pepper's still got a little bit longer. The kofta are done.
Done. Look, this is so beautiful and poetic. Why don't we take that poetry onto the water? Have you been boating? We are the food gatherers. We and all the food we see. Fur and feathers, the large and small, with nature's plenty for us all. But most of us, we love our own. When the dull red sun goes down, fishers and hunters home return to where the family fires burn. Around the fires at wide nightfall, this is the happiest time of all. Hey.
Oh, Richard, that's beautiful.
Thanks, Kaz.
Well, when you said going boating, I didn't realise I'd have to row the boat.
Did you like my speaking voice?
I did like your speaking voice, but I have definitely worked up an appetite. So let's start cooking those kofta.
Now, what are we doing with these?
Just whip them off the hot tray so they cool down a bit.
Okay.
And then you need to slip the skins off, chop up the flesh or tear the flesh into, hopefully we've got a little bit of a food processor
blend it
around.
down here.
Yeah. And I'm just popping the kofta in the fry pan. And that'll take around 3 or 4 minutes on each side.
Okay.
Rich, I'm just popping that over there because you will need to blitz it along with your chilies and pepper.
Yep.
Add a couple of tablespoons of Admona chopped tomatoes and a teaspoon or so of caraway. That's the classic spice you always find in harissa, and a few pinches of salt.
All right.
I'm making a delightful little side to go with the kofta from some Coles quinoa. I'm going to saute it with some corn. Rich, the kofta are coming along beautifully here. See how you can see the edges
Yep.
cooking up nicely? And they're lovely and golden on the other side.
Perfect. All right. And you said about a teaspoon?
Yeah.
Yeah. There we are. The salt.
Salt.
Okay, olive oil.
Olive oil.
Why not?
Yes.
A little bit of pepper. Okay.
Kofta coming along nicely, and this corn is too.
All right. I think I'm ready to blitz. Look at this.
Go ahead. Rich, you need to really whiz that up, because that's where the magic happens.
Okay. Now that's looking done, I reckon.
Yep.
That's beautiful.
I'm just adding some quinoa into the pan with the corn. And it's literally just to warm through. So what we do, sorry, this is the plate up bit, which I get a bit excited about, Rich. Let's have some harissa down first.
All right.
Can we have a bit of a smear?
Yeah.
And grab
Look at that.
a little bit
All right.
of the corn quinoa. Drop the kofta on top.
Okay.
There you go. It's my pork and corn spiced kofta with fresh harissa and toasted quinoa and corn. Yeah.
That's fantastic, Karen. I've got a question. Would you ever become a vegan given your food history? Now, if something happened where you couldn't eat X, Y, and Z, and I mean, would you be able to? Yeah.
I'd find it really hard. I would be perplexed most of the time because I don't know if I could give up cheese and eggs and leather shoes.
You know what? I don't think it's the cheese. I think it's the shoes.
Yeah. Okay. I'll be honest with you. Anyway, how do we make this celebration?
This celebration cake.
Driscoll berry cake.
Okay, I've got almonds, Brazil nuts, and walnuts.
Raw or toasted?
Raw. Okay.
Can I dice some fruit for you?
Chop the figs and the dates.
Figs and dates.
We've got coconut flour. Now, my spice, I've got cardamom, cinnamon, ginger.
A lovely mix or medley of spices.
And last but not least, I've got some freshly grated nutmeg. All right, so I need to pulse this.
Yep. Now, I'm just chopping these figs and dates quite roughly. Is that correct? Yeah.
Okay, so we can put all of that in there with some dried apricot and currants. So they go straight in there. So we just pulse that again.
And another piece.
Oh. That's good.
So, Richard, you've chopped that enough so you can still identify the medley of fruit and it's not just one big paste. I like it.
There we go.
Richard, I might scrape this vanilla bean. Is that for the icing on top?
That is for the icing on top. Now, what I'm going to do is I want to provide a little bit of liquid and a little bit of citrus. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to zest this very quickly. Okay, that's that. I'll do this
and
one.
some lemon too?
And some lemon.
Do you need them juiced?
I need this one done.
The orange?
Yep. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we'll just combine it all and press it into a tin. It's really, really, really simple.
That is pretty simple.
All right, there we are.
Just one orange?
Yep.
So, Rich, is there any more binding agent or any more wet ingredients that need to go into there?
Well, I think we need some coconut oil.
A couple of tablespoons?
Yep. And some maple syrup.
Okay.
All right.
So we've got a lined 24-centimetre tin.
And in we go.
So, Rich, while you're doing that, I'll get on to making a cashew cream or icing. Is that, yeah?
It's more an icing, I think.
Okay, and we've got a cup of cashews that have been soaked overnight in cold water.
Yeah.
And what this does is it softens the cashews and makes them almost creamy, if you like, when you puree them. So into a mixer.
This almost smells Christmassy.
It does. I think it's an amazing Christmas cake. Next, I'll add 1/3 of a cup of cacao butter. Now, this has been melted. This is what it looks like in its raw form.
It almost looks like white chocolate in a way.
Yeah, well, yes, but without the sugar and the cocoa. But and it's the vegetable fat from the cocoa bean that's been extracted. So I'll pour that in. A couple of tablespoons of the coconut oil. A dash of maple syrup. Not too much, I would think, because that is going to be quite intense.
That is quite sweet.
And some coconut water. And this will emulsify with the oils and fats we've added and also make those cashews luscious. Okay. And then we have a luscious cashew nut icing.
Cream, yeah. Okay, so I think we should put the cashew cream on top.
Here you go. And then once you've done that, pop it into the fridge to chill for 10 to 15 minutes.
And then we come back and we just pile on the berries on top with some flaked almonds. Okay, so this has been chilling in the fridge for about 10 or 15 minutes.
Doesn't take long at all.
Yeah. So I think that we can
Simple
peel
unmold.
and unmold. Here we
Oh,
are.
wonderful. So now it's time to decorate it. So here's some blueberries.
Okay.
So blueberries down first.
Blueberries down first. Piles and piles and piles of blueberries.
I'll go on with the
Yeah,
raspberries.
I'm going to pile a bit more
Nice.
there. And then you can just do yours.
It's like a bouquet of berries.
A bouquet.
And some toasted
There we are.
almonds.
Yep.
Maybe just around the edges, I'm thinking. So we don't cover the Driscoll's berries.
Beautiful. And there you have it. Our gluten-free, lactose-free, vegan berry torte.
For this divine recipe and all the fabulous recipes we do across the season, go to intolerantcooks.com.au. Let's try.
After you.
Could I put any more in? I want some more.
See, I reckon that you could travel with that to work.
Wherever you work, it's very lucky because you talk about taking cakes to work a lot.
You know, someone's always leaving, someone's
What's with
always
the
coming.
office and cakes? There's
because
people
they're-
working other places too, you know.
But it's a really great cake to have between a lot of people and everyone gets a small piece.